Mark. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I am known for certain language, which I will refrain from. But if you need me to call you a specific thing, come up to me afterwards. That's what happens to me on the streets of New York. People walk up to me and ask me to curse at them. This is my life. It's a gift I have. So, Deborah Winger was supposed to be here because she's a big environmentalist, and she canceled because she got a series and had to go to LA, so we know where her priorities are at. Money in Hollywood or here, a taste of the Catskills. But she knows so much about the environment. All I know is that I want to keep all this beautiful stuff gorgeous. You know, we were driving over here I live in the Hudson Valley, so we were driving west, and this is an area I've never been to. I've been to the Catskills. I played every goddamn hotel. The Concord and Grossingers and Kutcher's, and in my early stand-up years, I played every hotel and died at every hotel. They're all closed now, thank God. But this is a part of the state that I've never been in. And when you think about New York and how absolutely beautiful it is, from the Adirondacks to, the oceans in Long Island, it's something that we all really care about. And I'm asked to do a lot of benefits, and I can't because I can't. But the one thing that's really important to me is everything else that I'm asked to do, diseases and whatever, means nothing if we don't have clean water and clean air and beautiful land to live in. So I'm really happy that you're all here. So I was going over some of the buzzwords with Mark about, what this organization, Mountain Keeper, is all about, which kills me that I'm a mountain keeper because I'm such a city girl, but we'll get into that. And, like fracking, for example. Like on the one hand, fracking sounds like something fun, like I was fracking with my husband all night, or I'm going on the river to go fracking, and on the other hand, it sounds like something evil, they were fracking, whatever, it's evil. And then renewables, I was thinking about that too. The only renewables that comes to mind is constantly when I read my New Yorkers, those little cards. You know what I'm talking about? That renewal cards? How much energy is wasted on those goddamn renewable cards on the New Yorkers? Somebody write to them. We could all renew online. Okay. What else? I know what I was thinking about. I was thinking about that I've heard nothing about the environment from any of the Republican candidates. It's as though it doesn't even exist. And I was thinking about Donald Trump. Do you know how much PCBs he's putting in the air from that hairspray on his hair? Could you imagine? And I've met the man. And I sat there and I looked at the hair and I tried to figure out where it begins and where it ends. It's like a whole souffle, It's like a Mobius strip that you can't, if you pulled one strand, the whole thing would just completely die. And I did a roast for him at the Friars Club a number of years ago before he was completely ridiculous, when he was only semi-ridiculous. And I remember that it was a luncheon, his hair ordered the salmon. It was farm-fed. But there was an article this morning in the New York Times, and the article was talking about how we have to teach global warming to our kids in school. Because last year there was a study, 35% of people in the study felt that global warming was caused by natural causes. Another 34% believed that there was no scientific evidence that there was global. That's huge numbers, okay? And I thought if I tried to teach my kids anything, they would laugh in my face. Do you have kids? This lady here? No? Nobody in this audience has kids? Do you have kids? How old? Teenagers? 9 and 5. Anybody have teenagers? Back there, that lady, she has everything. Do they roll their eyes at you? I have 4 teenagers. Here, let me just explain why it's so funny to me that I'm a mountain keeper. 12 years ago, I met my husband. I lived on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, next to Mark Eisman, I might add. Is that a small world? And I had been upstate New York, but whatever. My husband lived upstate New York, and he had 4 children, so I acquired them like they were on sale. And when I first met them on the weekends, they were all upstate and athletic, and I lived in Manhattan, So on the weekends, I would come upstate, and they would be like, let's go kayaking, let's go canoeing, let's go hiking, let's go camping. I don't camp. If God wanted me to camp, she wouldn't have invented the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, okay? So I didn't know how to do any of these nature things. So I would say, let's go shopping, because it's the only thing I was good at. And they followed me like I was the Pied Piper. And my mother used to say to me, you can't buy their love. No, you can't. You can't. They were like Russian mail order brides. The more I spent, the more they loved me. So then they move in with us. We bought a house, you know, on the Hudson River. It's gorgeous, and they move in with us. And all of a sudden, I mean, I'm surrounded by this beauty that I actually care about, and I'm also raising 4 teenagers at the same time. Now, when you raise teenagers, first of all, they roll their eyes, which killed me. Because when I was a teenager, I was used to be queen of the eye rollers. I was so good at it, you could actually hear my eyes rolling, all right? All of a sudden, I'm getting eye rolled at. And here's what happens when you have teenagers. All of a sudden, you think you're hip, you're cool, you work on HBO where you tell people to go what themselves for a living, and et cetera, et cetera. Exactly, I can't. Later on, come up to me personally, as I said. And until you have teenagers, and all of a sudden, you're just a freaking idiot. They just think you're a moron and an idiot. Here's what happens. I was in the car with Cindy, who was the youngest, and Fergie comes on the radio. And Cindy's like, oh, Fergie, turn that up. I love Fergie. And I say, just making conversation, oh, Fergie, doesn't she sing with the black-eyed chili peppers? Now, this is the funniest thing. Now, for you, those of you, because I see some older people in the audience, Fergie sings with the Black Eyed Peas. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are another group altogether. I mixed the metaphors, so to speak. She should have been impressed I knew food was involved at all. Okay. So she starts laughing hysterically and rolling her eyes and laughing. She gets on the phone to her sister. You're not going to believe what an idiot Susie is. A Black Eyed Chili. And all of a sudden, I have a flashback to 40 years ago. I'm in the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme with my mother, and we're listening to the AM radio. It was like Murray the K or something. And my mother turns to me and she says, isn't that Paul McCartney on the Rolling Stones? And I think, what a freaking idiot she is. What kind of moron is my mother that she doesn't know that Paul is a Beatle? What kind of imbecile gave birth to me that she thinks Paul is on the Rolling Stones? And now here I am 40 years later, and now I'm the freaking idiot, okay? It all comes around. So try to teach your children the right thing. It doesn't mean they're going to listen. But, you know, can I say something? Where's your children?
Yeah.
No children? All right, whatever. Good, we can talk about them. They're all lame. Their entire generation is lame. You know, with their bike helmets, and they're all protected, and their elbow pads and their knee pads. If I had a bike helmet in my neighborhood where I grew up in the Bronx, they would have laughed me to Staten Island. I'm not kidding. And their child safety caps. When I was 5 years old, I went into my father's medicine cabinet. I downed an entire bottle of phenobarbital, and I'm fine, okay?
No, you're not.
And they're all strapped into their car seats, and they're all protected. We didn't have car seats. We didn't have seatbelts. We'd be in the back seat flailing around, banging your head against it. My father would be smacked. We got hit. He'd be smacking us, and you climb into the well, and like you make faces out there. All that creativity climbing into the well, it's all gone. So it's important that we take their little brains that are like this, and we teach them something about how important all of this beauty is, and the environment, and being a mountain keeper. I am a proud Catskill mountain keeper, and I'm happy that you all came, and thank you all so much.
Okay, well, now the bar for Taste of the Catskills is now blown to bits. I don't know ever how anything could be better than that, ever. Susie Essman, thank you. That was awesome. Thank you. So we're now going to wrap up our program for Mountain Keeper, and please go over and join the solar workshops and have fun. And thank you, everybody, and thank you, Maple Shade Farm, for once again hosting an incredible place. Thank you.